How about Amy Trask basically saying that there are 7 good quarterbacks remaining and a lucky to be here guy named Brock Purdy? What do you think of that? I was thinking Amy's still doing some heavy lifting for Al from beyond the grave here. I don't know.
I personally push back on her on that. I injected myself into this situation, which I probably shouldn't have done. But I know Amy, and I've known her for years, and I think she has a book, maybe? Is that what maybe motivated this? Does she have a book that's out right now?
I don't know.
She went on with a lady named Amy Schuster, I believe, or Susie Schuster. Susie Schuster. And
I think they have a podcast or something.
Yeah, I mean, this was another cross the line kind of a thing. I mean, this one's not as bad, of course, but this was wrong. Come on. So now what? Brock Purdy, who led the NFL in several categories this year, is now not as good as Baker Mayfield, as Jared Goff.
Are you? So you're. I hear something playing, but I don't see him.
Hold on a second. Somebody just almost yanked my cord here. Let me just play this for you. I'm going to share the screen. Okay, here it is. Okay.
Terrific.
Okay, here we go.
Of 4 games this week. That means we have 8 quarterbacks. Did that math all by myself. Good girl. 4 games, 8 quarterbacks, 7 terrific quarterbacks, and Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. Make no mistake about it. Everybody be calm, 49er fans. I'm not suggesting Brock's not a good quarterback. He is. I simply don't put him in the same category as the other quarterbacks. So I'll say it again. 8 quarterbacks, 7 terrific quarterbacks, and Brock Purdy.
What don't you like about him?
It's not that I don't like him. It's not that I dislike him. He does things very well. He is surrounded by a tremendous, tremendous supporting cast, both on offense and defense. He is a good quarterback. I don't put him in the category of the other 7. Of 4 games this week, that means we have 8 quarterbacks.
So here's my complaint with this.
She backed it up with 0 information.
Right. I mean, anybody can have an opinion, but how you support your opinion is defining.
It sounds like she read a tweet that Nick Wright sent out that was very similar, and she saw Nick Wright get an awful lot of attention, and maybe she does want attention, so she went with that too. I don't know, but it's like there's no level of reasoning behind her reason when it comes to. She's like, I like him, but I'm going to separate him so dramatically from these other 7 guys that he doesn't even belong on the same list with them.
So I pushed back and I said, I love Amy, but she's wrong. Purdy's processing, timing, toughness, accuracy, and feel are all elite traits, and she's letting his draft position cloud her eval. Truth is that Amy is a talented football executive and isn't a trained personnel evaluator. They are distinctly different jobs and require completely different skill sets. She's just an observer, and she's entitled to her opinion, but she's not a trained personnel evaluator. Brock will prove her and others wrong. And then, a couple guys pushed back on me and said, well, she had a differing opinion than yours and mine, but there's no need to discredit her credentials in evaluating football talent. And, I replied to that guy. I said, I was just pointing out that she's not an evaluator by trade. It's a statement of fact. Take it any way you want. It's hardly a low blow. And then I said, hey, a hospital administrator, no matter how talented, shouldn't give opinions on the relative health of a patient. That's reserved for doctors. This is no different, in my opinion. And then back to his initial criticism, he's like, there's no reason to discredit her credentials in evaluating football talent. She has no credentials in evaluating football talent. She admitted it to me in another text where she said, hey, that's why I've never picked a player in my life, and I've never been involved in picking players in my life.
Wasn't she on Team Jaminkus when the Raiders drafted Jamarcus Russell? I mean, did she really think that Jamarcus was about to be one of the best quarterbacks of all time?
Well,
Here's
she's
the
not. No,
story.
she might have been in the
Player
organization,
evaluation.
Damon, but she didn't make that. That's not on her. Amy replied to me after I said what I said. She said, "Thank you again to Scott who supported her." She said, "Thank you very much." And Larry, you're right. I was not involved in selecting players via the draft, trades, free agency, which is why I'm giggling at all the suggestions that, quote, she, meaning me, drafted terrible players. And hi to you as well. So I love Amy Trask, and she's a wonderful person, and she's a very talented executive. And I've known her for years and years and years. I had good friends who worked for the Raiders. I went over there and watched film with them many, many times. And I've had many conversations with her, and she's one of my favorite radio guests.
I guess, here's the thing, Larry.
She's not a football evaluator. She's like a capologist. It would be like if Parag said, "You know what? I don't think if Parag had said the same thing, I would say the same thing about Parag." Now, let me just say one other thing. Shame on all these people that have replied to her with all kinds of vitriol, using terrible words that I would never use ever, ever, ever. Let's dial it down, people. My God. Now, she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong. She threw out an opinion that she knew was going to get a lot of attention. She got a lot of attention. She didn't back up or support her opinion with anything. Okay. And she deserves some pushback, but people dropping the C word need to check themselves. People that are just absolutely vulgar in their responses need to check themselves. Come on, people.
Look, people are absolute huge assholes, and
But I
especially
mean,
when they can do it
that's just
anonymously. Larry,
that has to be pushed back on. That has to be stated, because the level of non-decency. Come on, people. We can have a discussion and keep the dialogue on a somewhat professional level. It's just so heinous, the things that I saw people say to her. It sickens me. But let's talk about Brock Purdy for a second.
Are you done? Are you done?
Purdy? No, I'm not done. Brock Purdy is the best statistical quarterback in the NFL this year. 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 113 quarterback rating. That ranks first. A 9.6 yards per attempt. That ranks first. The highest completion percentage in the entire league. 13.3 yards per completion. That ranks first. So
look, the
you
point
can't sit there and say he's better than that. Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff are better when the stats say otherwise, and then not follow it up with a why is Brock Purdy somehow in his own category. Is it because he's 6'1", or is it because NFL executive took him in the 7th round, or what is it that makes him the outlier? I need to know.
If you're going to say something as spicy as you're saying, you better back it up with something, because an argument that I think you and I have both been making is you take Brock Purdy's numbers, put them next to the name Aaron Rodgers, you have a unanimous MVP. But the name Brock Purdy is what people are pushing back on, not any of the data points or the stats or the success. And I think that the reason why people are offended that this is coming from Amy Trask is not some hot take artist.
No.
She is actually someone whose football opinion we put some regard in. And for her to just be so far drifting out of reasonable conversations to reach an unreasonable hot take, well, why? When she says, well, I still like him. Well, but why would you still like him if you think that he doesn't even belong in the conversation with these 7 other guys? Like,
right.
It doesn't, she didn't
qualify it.
She didn't make any sense at all. She didn't defend her position at all. And the fact that we like her in the first place is why I think people are like, well, what's the deal, Amy? What are you doing? Why are you talking like this? But it doesn't
we had to push back. But I mean, people had to push back on that comment. I mean, come on. You're entitled to your opinion, but we're entitled to ours. And if you don't support your opinion with anything, it kind of weakens your opinion. And all I was saying is come on, man. I mean, it's the same reason that I wouldn't, Parag knows tons of football, but Parag's not a talent evaluator. He can't tell you which corner is better than another corner. It's a different skill set. So that's all.
Well, again, I'm not a talent evaluator either, Larry. And you
Right.
and I sit around and evaluate talent all the time. I mean, you used to do it, but you don't do it now. You're someone who evaluates talent with a discerning eye, but you're not a talent evaluator either. You're not working for an NFL team.
But there's a difference. The difference is that I have been trained by other talented personnel evaluators, and I have done it, and I understand what goes into it. And I'm not outside my purview. She's a little bit outside of her purview on this. It would be as if Scott McLuhan started debating her on the legalities of NFL happenings with a team. Now, he's a great personnel evaluator, but Scott, come on, man. You don't know. You're not anybody's legal counsel. She's an attorney. She knows the rules. She knows the law. And so just because you're a great talent evaluator doesn't mean that you could comment with any intelligence about the legal precedents or the legal happenings of a football team. It's just different, right? I mean, it's just different.
And here's the thing. And coming back to what you also said, never use the C word to a woman. I was talking about this with Ray Ratto one time, Larry, and Ray said it better than I've ever heard it said. He's like, you can only use the C word like they use it over in England, where they only call another man the C word. They still don't use it for women over there. It's only
It's
another
such
man.
a vulgar word.
Yeah, it's look at it this way. Of all the words in the world, and I'm the least offended by words person you're ever going to meet in your life. Words do not offend me. I don't even like that one. I don't even say that. That's a nasty word. So yeah, people, but look, the single biggest problem with the internet is you're allowed to post on it anonymously. To me, there should be zero anonymous posting on the internet. You should have to put your name on everything you say in public. That to me is the single biggest reason why discourse has collapsed in the United States. Because you can, through your shadow account, where you never identify yourself, scream the most horrific things in the world with nothing coming back at you.